Alright, brush monkeys, we are back and we are continuing our build of this decorative base for Bruce Lee here. I'm just kind of putting some of my tools away because we don't need those anymore. What we're going to need now is drill. I've got some painter's tape to tape off some parts that we're not going to use anymore, or we're not going to use that we don't want to paint right at the moment. And I've also got some Gorilla Glue here. We're going to use that. And go ahead and take the rubber bands off here because the glue ought to be all set. That's awesome. Make sure there's nothing coming apart there. Okay, that's a little bowed in, but that's alright, it's supposed to be. But that looks pretty good. We like how that looks. So the painter's tape that we've got, I'm going to get that X-Acto knife out because I need that after all. We're just going to tape off. We want all this in here to be white, but we don't want this cube to be white. And eventually we're going to paint the back of it black. So we're just going to do some painter's tape here. Try and line it up along the top of the cube there. Make sure it gets pressed down along that top edge because that's going to determine, it's going to keep that paint out of the face of the block. And then just give it a quick cut. Boom. There we go. Smooth all the way down. That'll keep the block from being painted. But we do want that part white because that's going to be the floor. Next up, I'm using the red painter's tape because both of these are essentially the same brand of tape. Scotch blue painter's tape, and then this one is Sure tape. It's just slightly different brand, but it does the same thing. It's designed not to stick too badly to the surface you want it painted. But we're going to cut off a bunch of pieces here. I think probably 2 per. I'm estimating 2 per mirrored side, so I'm hoping that'll work. So I'm just cutting off strips here. If we end up needing more, I'll cut more, but I think that should do. And all we're going to do is take that. I'm going to start a little bit above, just a little bit above the mirrored side. Oh, that's way too long. Okay, awesome. Go ahead. Cut that down. Start just a little bit above the mirrored side so we can curve it down with our fingernail onto the mirrored surface. Keep that from getting painted. Bottom. Awesome. Trying real hard. Try not to do this the way I'm doing it because I'm really cutting towards my fingers and I'm going to end up slicing a finger off doing this because I'm stupid. But try not to be stupid. Yeah, I didn't quite cover that piece of mirror right there, so let's try that again. Anytime you're doing any kind of cutting with an X-Acto knife, try to use a brand new blade because otherwise it'll get, you can end up cutting yourself really badly. Oddly enough, a new blade, you're less likely to do that to yourself because the new blade will cut easier than an old blade, and an old blade will kind of drag on it, as you can kind of see this is doing. And that dragging on it will sorry, I got distracted by a hair stuck behind the tape there. There we go. Okay, but that dragging on it will can cause it to pull and cut something that you don't want to cut, and it makes it harder to cut, and it makes you have to work more to do what you need it to do. Okay. You can see how I'm having to saw that off of there like that. Okay, good news is this is, so it didn't quite cover the bottom of the mirror, but this is what we use these little excess pieces for. Put that in there, put that one there, and there we go. Now we're just gonna fold that up under there so that the coffee stirrer there can get painted without painting the mirror. So I'm trying to do this on camera and see what the hell I'm doing at the same time. It's not working out fantastic. Come on, get under there. Get up under there. Why is that not sticking? Really being an obstinate little bitch. Okay, there we go. Okay, now when I go to do the back of this thing, I'm going to basically put it down on the table like this, spray it this way, and then put it on the table like that, spray it that way, and that'll get all of that without compromising any of this inside. But for right now, we're going to go paint this white and come back and see how that looks. And then we'll proceed from there. All right, see you in a bit. All right, we're back. And as you can see, I've got the inside all painted white. Looks really spiff. I also went ahead and you can see where I've peeled these wings back because I did the outside in the same black as the rest of the cube. So that's going to look really spiff. So we're just going to let that sit aside and dry for right now. I'm going to move those out of the way. In the meantime, we've got this little project. This is what's going to attach Bruce Lee to the base, and this is just simply a galvanized metal washer. It was 5/16 inch. Oddly enough, I originally went and got a stainless steel washer to go inside his base here, and it fit perfectly. 5/16 fit perfectly. Unfortunately, it was non-magnetic, so I went back to the hardware store and got a galvanized one in same size, and it didn't fit, so I had to grind it down, as you can see on the outside there. And basically what the magnets are for is I put the magnets on there to make sure they were all aligned. See how they are there? So when we glue this in, I'm going to put the glue on this side, glue it to this base, and then once that dries, we'll put a little dab of red paint on each one of these magnets, figure out how I want them situated on the base, put them down, and those little red dots are going to show me where to drill on that. And I've got a drill here in my pin vise. This is roughly the same size as the magnets. We're just going to drill holes where each one of those little 4 red dots are. Put a little drop of super glue in each one of the holes, then stick the magnets down, put the magnets in the holes, and slide Bruce Lee off. Let the magnets, or let the glue on the magnets dry, and then Bruce Lee will be attached to his base, but you'll be able to slide them off and use them for the game whenever you want to, which is going to be really nice. So for right now, we are going to glue, hopefully going to glue this. Let me slide this off and make sure this is actually open, or that there's any glue running in this thing. It's supposed to supposed to be gel glue, so hate to think I just bought a whole new thing of glue and it doesn't freaking work. I literally just bought this yesterday. There's no reason why this shouldn't be coming out. Okay. I'm gonna pause here for a second. Okay, the glue wasn't flowing because I'm an idiot and didn't realize there was a little tip there I needed to drill out, so sorry about that. Now that it's actually flowing, I'm just going to put some on the base here. And I like using the super glue gel because it holds really well until it dries. Well, it still holds pretty well after that, but it'll hold until it dries. Whereas regular super glue, this might fall out while you're waiting for it to dry. Alright, so there's Bruce with the washer and the magnets in his base. So we're going to let that dry. Let the super glue dry, let the paint dry. When we come back, we'll take the tape off the display base and line up Bruce Lee the way we want him and get those holes drilled out. Okay, so I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, Brush Monkeys, we are back. Bruce is dry, so we're going to go ahead and mark the base of his, where his base is going to go. And to do that, I've got my Reaper Marasil red paint. And I'm using a palette cup, which is basically just a plastic cup from an old bottle of water, because I don't want to dirty up a whole palette just for this. And just get... Come on, man, I know your lid's open. Give me this. Okay. As usual, this wants to play games. There hasn't been a step of this project that hasn't. So, since the paint doesn't want to come out, I've got a straight pen that says you're coming out whether I like you or not. There, look at that. How hard was that? Okay. So, like I said, we're just going to put a little blob on each one of these magnets, like that. And before that dries, hopefully, I'm going to set Bruce up where we want him. Which I think he's going to look good right there. Boom. That gives me the 4 little dots where I need to drill. So we'll take our drill here. You don't need to go very deep because magnets aren't very big. And if you want to, one thing you can do while you're doing this is you can hold up the drill bit next to the magnet like that and kind of figure out exactly how deep you need to go, which is like just below the surface there. Sometimes if you got a bigger magnet, you can do, you can put some tape around it. Normally just go until I've got a nice little pit there. Try to do this on camera, but there's so much stuff that gets in the way of this. And if I end up breaking something I worked on before, I'm gonna say some choice words. So I would like to not do that. Now, get Bruce here, and okay, the exact placement of the magnets really doesn't matter. I'm going to, you know, as long as they're in there and they'll connect onto the base. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the magnets in, and then we'll come back and take a look at it, all right? Because having this camera in the way is not happening for me. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so we got the magnets in the base, and they're not pretty, but they're in there. The super glue is still wet. They still want to fight me at every turn, so I'm going to hold off on messing with them any further for right now, and I'm going to go paint the wood parts of the backdrop. And for that, we're using Army Painter Speed Paint Dark Wood. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and go do that, and then we'll come back and hopefully when the glue is dried and the magnets are no longer trying to jump at every little thing, we will paint over the magnets with white paint, and then that'll help to make the base look a little more unified. So be back in a little bit once I've got the wood painted. See you soon. Bye. Alright, so I've got all the wood painted in there, and I've got the edges of the foam core painted, so that looks pretty good. Also got the base painted, so you can see it covers up those magnets really nicely. And I even got Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do emblem painted on the front, so that looks really cool. So now I'll put Bruce in there, and sure enough, the magnets hold them just perfectly. Pretty spiff. So I'm going to give that Jeet Kune Do emblem a little time to dry, because you can see it's still wet in there, and then I'm going to matte seal the whole thing, and next time you see this puppy, he'll be completely done. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, there is our finished Bruce Lee on the set of Enter the Dragon. I think that came out looking pretty spiff. Here's the whole thing with the decorative base and whatnot. There's some things I could have done better, some things I would have done differently if I was doing it over again, but I think overall it came out pretty nice. So I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and finish up the series. Thanks for joining me for another Dragon December, and I will see you next week. Bye. Hey Breast Monkeys, Tom here. If you like what you see, click like down below, and if you want to be notified when new videos get posted, click subscribe. And in the meantime, if you want to support us in any way, check me out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We're on all those platforms. If you see a miniature on the site that you want to make one of your own, hit me up on Instagram. I can quote you a price for that. And if you want any Flying Monkey Studios merchandise, like t-shirts, things like that, hit me up on storefrontier.com/flyingmonkeystudios and get all your merch there. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.